Well, hello everyone, it's Mike here from Fly Past RC, bring you something completely different, something we've never ever tried before. Hopefully it's going to work. I'm going to be taking you through basically a review of my Bixler 3 with FPV setup. A lot of people have asked about it. I'm going to talk about the control links, what I use for video, the ground station, what I record things with, and just how I've got it set up. This is the first video I've ever tried like this. I'd appreciate absolutely any feedback you guys can offer. But for now, let's get stuck into it and I'll talk you through my FPV Bixler. So here's a couple of clips of it in the air, pan the GoPro round left to right. Gets me a nice full range of movement. I've got it slightly offset so I can see I can look behind me mid-flight. I have a fixed camera in the nose so I can flick between whichever one I want to use, whether it's the one on the pan mount or whether it's the one on the front of the nose. So I can leave the camera facing behind me and still be able to fly it forwards, or I can leave it out to wingtip left or right if I'm looking around at the different objects on the floor. But for now, let's have a look at it on the bench and I'll show you exactly how I've got it set up and what I've got on it. So it's too big to have the whole thing set up in my studio here, but what I'll do is just talk you through, just show you exactly what I've done with each part of the plane. So first thing is the left-hand wing. I've got the video transmitter mounted in here. It's mounted in there, fits nice and snugly in the side. Bit of heat shrink I cut over the top of it, so just to give it a bit of extra cooling. It does get hot being buried in foam, doesn't have much ventilation. Just run the wires outside, cut a small hole on the inside here, and I just run the wires down here out to the end. And with all my stuff I do put the same plug on everything. I standardise the plug. So the next wing, we have the right hand wing. It's just got the Dragon Link receiver mounted on the outside, exactly the same. Drill the holes through the centre of the wing. I have the antennas just pass straight through the wing at 180 degrees to each other, so it's a nice big straight antenna. Again, just routed the wire inside the wing, goes all the way down, all the way out and to the end, and now I just plug that in every time I assemble my plane. So onto the Bixler itself. At the front I've got the wooden mount that I use. It's my own little design of GoPro mount on the front, so it's my pan system. Comes off easy enough, but for now I'll quickly show you how it works. We've got a servo there, just turns the GoPro around, nice and smooth. Allows me to come 180 this way and about to sort of just past 90 degrees the other way. Allows me to look everywhere I want to look. Next we have, obviously inside we've got all the controls and things like that. So quickly disconnect the camera. So in here we have buried in the Dragon Link receiver, sorry. I also have my FlyDream OSD installed in there, and if I turn the plane upside down, one sneaky feature I've not mentioned yet is a 120 decibel siren just stuck in the bottom, because why not? It's quite fun to be able to interact with people on the ground. I've got a Mobius down facing camera, which has supplied 5 volts into it, so don't worry about the battery going flat. On top here I have the GPS for my OSD mounted in the top, and then the set home button just comes out here. Obviously set that every time before I fly. Hobby King GPS on the outside of the plane back here. And that's pretty much every feature in the Bixler. It's as set up. I haven't changed any of the ESCs or motors or props or anything, so it's as it comes. I'll put the specs on underneath the video because I can't remember them off by heart at the moment. So now if I take the GoPro pan mount, this is what I've got inside. Turnigy unit there, buried in, sorry, amongst the wires in there. So that's the T1000 failsafe unit. So it's stabilizer, heading hold and return to home unit. I've wired a separate button on the outside here so I can set home before I fly off on that unit. So this is the front of my Bixler here. It's got 3 cameras on. I've got the GoPro for the HD footage. I've got one up here as well that sees obviously in the direction the GoPro sees, and I got one buried here in the nose, so I've always got a forward facing camera. I've got a Hobby King camera switching unit, so even if I've got this offset to the side or I'm looking over the wing and all of a sudden I get disorientated, I can just switch back to this first camera very quickly and easily, and I can still just fly the plane as normal. I can leave the GoPro out on the side, and then I can flick back when I'm safe and ready and bring this one back to center. So this is what I use for my control. Turnigy 9X, flashed with ER9X software. Got the Dragon Link module mounted on the back. I've got how it's set up. I've got the flight modes on this 3-position switch here, so I have my normal flight mode here. I then have next position down is heading hold and finally return to home. My siren I have mounted on this momentary switch at the back, just for a short blip for people on the ground, look up the plane and wave. Camera switcher is this one here, so I can switch between the two different cameras I have in the front of the nose, and then I can rotate my camera at the front here with this dial. That's about it for the control unit. So this is all the kit I received my video with. I have a pair of Fat Sharks in the front there, and I have a case at the back, and then on the right hand side that's my repeater station. So it receives the 1.3 gig signal and then retransmits it on 5.8, which allows me to use my 5.8 goggles wirelessly and to use my case, which has got a 5.8 receiver set up and a screen. Just allows for a bit of redundancy, just in case the batteries go flat in my Fat Sharks or anything like that. I've still got the case that I can receive the video on. Also allows any other flyers in the area to flip on their own Fat Shark or FPV system onto 5.8, and they'll see what my plane's seeing. So they don't need to have the same receivers as me. They'll just be able to, have a ride on board with me. If there's other flyers wanting to use 5.8 in the area whilst I'm up or before I go up, I can just use a straight line out from the 1.3 receiver into the case or the Fat Sharks to allow them to fly 5.8, and I can just fly my 1.3, so I'm not going to cause anyone any disruption. So that was my review of the Bixler 3 platform, the way I have it set up and how I fly it. If any of you have any questions or comments, feel free to message me or write on the bottom of this video or whatever you want to do. Like I said, it's the first video I've done like this, so I'll be very much appreciate some feedback, anything you guys have to offer. But for now, I'll leave you with a bit of flight footage, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much.